with us.
So yeah, we're going to have your code and your ticker on this network, and you can't stop it from being traded.
Right.
And so there's a derivative, and then if there's liquidity bonding the prices together, so if, let's say you have Chainlink on Ethereum, and then after launch, price bounces around a while, but I bet that over time that these prices will move similarly.
Right.
I think that the Link ticker on Pulsechain is likely to move similarly to the Link ticker on Ethereum.
Right. Just because of the bridge, right? And
well, because they're bonded by the liquidity.
Right.
And then it's the same code with the same ticker. Now, do you want to pay $100 or $300 to trade it on Ethereum, or do you want to pay a penny to trade it over here? And we already know this answer because they're doing it on other networks as well.
Yeah.
People do trading on alternate networks, and then we're the one that you don't like. Your coin. You don't even have to bridge over. Right. You've already got your free coins here. You can already access them by changing one setting in your MetaMask. It's awesome.
Dude, it sounds
well.
It sounds pretty awesome.
Well, that's the trick. That's the magic. Is you launch this whole network with all these new coins. How do you get those new coins to be valuable?
Right.
But by not letting anyone ever stop the trading, by having the same tickers, and by giving people a reason to back the value of the things they got free.
Right.
By rewarding them with a yield farming token. It's like a giant vampire attack, basically. It's a giant vampire attack.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another day. Yesterday I was off on holiday, of course. Enjoying the Sunday down here in New Zealand. Obviously, it's Monday now. Can you believe it? We're in the future, broadcasting around about Pulsechain and crypto. It is 12 minutes past midday on Monday, the 12th of August. I know many of you in the Northern Hemisphere are still on Sunday enjoying your weekend. So I hope you're having a good time there. And so we've called the title of the video today, Pulsechain Weekend Market Update. How about that for those that are, probably the majority still enjoying the old Sunday lazy day. I hope you're having a good time. We're going to be talking about the markets. Now, yesterday when I wasn't streaming, markets were super green. And then today they've managed to pull back on lazy Sunday. And we know that. Normally in the Northern Hemisphere on the Sunday, it is typically a bit of a down day, and that's what we've seen on the markets leading into the weekend, leading into the next week, I should say. So the futures markets on the stock market pretty flat at the moment, so we're going to have to wait and see what that looks like tomorrow, and of course see what the markets have in store for us. It's going to be pretty fun to see that, and what the next week will be like. So looking forward to some green days, hopefully, and we'll keep the rally moving. Now, we do know that August, September, in my view, is going to be volatile. We know that based on historics. And, of course, we do have, obviously, the Bitcoin halving year. So we are expecting the hyper rally to occur. But I'm still picking October for that. So probably a bit later in the piece than we normally see post-halvings. But I'm still picking October for that big rally. Assuming, of course, we don't have geopolitical meltdown during that time. Fingers crossed. Or the stock market, that the stock market doesn't also have some major correction like 30 to 50%. So let's hopefully take those two caveats. Looking pretty looking forward to that. And of course, we also have the updates around Richard Hart versus SEC, all that sort of stuff. So there's lots going on before we get into that bullish October period. But picking October for that next big leg for the markets. And of course, we're still pretty bullish, depending, especially if Trump gets in, about Q1, Q2 next year, being pretty bullish as well. Long little bull market there for the cryptos, looking pretty good. Now we've got Lies Beneath in the house here. How are you today? Very good. Hex Pulse Hex Center for the win, 100%. We're going to be talking about those markets when we get to there. Big shout out to Lies Beneath. We've got Craig Pitt in the house there. Morning all. Hey Craig, hope you're doing well. Enjoying your Sunday. We got Brian, our community leader in the house. What's up, folks? Good to see you. Good to chat there. A lot of other ones. Brian's in the America as well, enjoying his weekend, no doubt. Big shout out to Wookie and MV in the Discord. Good having a good old chat there. If you haven't joined our Discord, the link's in the video description. $5 a month to join up, 16 cents a day. Good value. Get in there, folks, and you got all the best information, best community. I think Wookie and MV in there right now having a good chat, so well worth getting in there. Although I do think they're in the Mafia chat, not in the general chat. With us there, we've got Brian says, sup, Wookie. Big shout out from Brian to you, Wookie. Lots of hugs there. We've got MVS in the house there. John McBrien in the house. Hey, good to see you, MB. Hope you're having a good time in the Discord there. All right, let's get into the markets. Let's see where we are. Now, before we get to markets, we're going to talk about the election as well. So we're already seeing tech companies playing games with free speech and abusing their own community guidelines. And you'll see that on tech companies. So look forward to more of that. They're going to try and reduce free speech and all that. So that is a big thing coming. Fascism is on the march, right? So we see that with Labour governments around the world. In the West, who is the good guy? The West now the baddies too. It's looking like that, so it's a bit scary. And all we can do is push back in peaceful ways, and out there encourage you to vote for the right thing. Otherwise, freedoms will go. There's no point in voting for a government that's going to take away your freedoms. That's for sure. You got to remember, 2 world wars. They fought for those freedoms, and the price is high for freedom. And it's so easy to take away if we don't defend them peacefully, of course. We're thinking about this election coming up for the US is so important for freedom and for crypto. What else we got there? Brian's got the link to the Discord. My link is way better than Wookie's. Just saying. So that's the link to the Discord if you want to join up today, and encourage you to do that. Wookie is thinking of taking up breakdancing. Well, Wookie, if you saw the Australian girl, I don't know, anybody can get it. If an Australian girl can get in, you can get in too. All you need is a sad story. Wookie, you just need a sad story, and you'll be able to participate in the Olympics. You can just get off your couch and go and do it. That's pretty much it. All right, let's move on. Let's get into, we're going to talk about the US election. Now, you would have seen some posts about how Harris is doing better in some recent polls in the battleground states. Well, we're going to dispel some of that. A lot of that's just hype and hyperbole. We're going to get a lot of that propaganda from the mainstream media. But here we are on real clear polling, and we have some real polls. So we did have a lot. So there's some very important things with some of these polls. A lot of them are corporate polls, so you can question them straight away because they can adjust a lot of mechanisms within those polls as well. So you've got to remember that. We've also had 2 recent polls that have come out, and one of them happens to be CNBC, so that's kind of interesting. And the Rasmussen report, which we covered the other day, both of them have overall, they have actually Trump leading, not Harris, but Trump leading up 2 points on the CNBC poll and up 5 points there in the Rasmussen poll overall. So that is the overall there. Now, this average that Harris has got 0.5%, that's based on a lot of old polls when Harris just came in and they did the big propaganda to make it look good and all that. And that is where we are at the moment. So a lot of trickery going on in the election already. And we also see the tech companies. So we know that Google and Facebook, they rigged the whole election last time. They moved millions of votes through the rigging where they cut down all the free speech. And then they also promote the narratives that they want, right? So this is the corruption that we've been seeing amongst the tech companies. We've got the battleground states, right? So we've got Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, right? So we've got all that going on there. Now, if I remember right, Michigan is the one that probably is the true battleground state. Oddly enough, this is the one that's clearly showing in all the polls. We've got New York Times, Siena. This is the latest poll that's been coming out. A lot of the companies, mainstream media has been talking about. But we can see here, it's got Harris up 4 points in Michigan. And of course, that's one of the corporate polls there. We can see some of the other polls, Insider Advantage, Bloomberg, which are slightly older polls, also had Harris up quite a bit. Now, this one here, 11 points. Now, previously, in July, obviously, they used to have Trump up, but now we've got this Trump-Harris, remember. Now, remember, Harris wasn't democratically voted through the Republic system. Remember, it was Biden that got the 14 million votes. And then suddenly they just got rid of Biden and they put Harris there as well. So that undermined democracy in the United States, well, the form of democracy that America has. So typical shenanigans going on there. And then, of course, we do have, that's in Michigan. Looking at Wisconsin's, let's have a look here. So we had the New York Times Siena poll out as well as the one that the mainstream media is pushing at the moment. And it had Harris up 4 points. But before that, we had Insider Advantage with Trump up. And you got to remember, these are both based on pretty much the same dates, but the Insider Advantage has a bigger sample, 800, and of course that had Trump at 1 point there. So there's a bit of a question mark around some of these polls, and of course remember a lot of these polls can adjust them to get their outcomes as well. The other thing is, of course, probably the best poll, the non-corporate poll, is the Rasmussen report, right? That's probably the most objective, and that had Trump up 5% overall in the election. So we're going to be looking forward to more updates there. What else we got? Well, where we go? Wisconsin, Michigan. We have a quick look at Pennsylvania. So really, Michigan seems like the only one that's really up at arms at the moment. We had the New York Times Siena. This is the one the mainstream media has been pushing. Had tariffs up 4 points, but just before that, we had Trafalgar Group out pretty much the same period with a bigger sample size, and that had Trump up 2 points. So do you see what I'm saying? If you look at the polls, they keep using this New York Times Siena poll, leftist type of probably set up there, and then they go out and they push that propaganda, right? So actually, I think out of all these particular battleground states, only Michigan is probably really in contention there, oddly enough, which seems crazy because Harris is going to absolutely smash the economy in Michigan. So I don't know who's in there, but people fall for the propaganda and vote for their own doom. So I don't know why, but people do it. Ignorant people, right? Ignorant people or indoctrinated people, you decide. So that's kind of the play there out of those. We also had, let's have a quick look at Arizona. Arizona, we've got clearly Trump winning that, up 1 point. The previous one, a poll was also up 2 points there. And this is, the 8th of August. So just to give you an idea across the board. So that's Arizona, Nevada. Did we check Nevada? I think we did. We have Trump up 3 points in Nevada. So you can sort of see actually Trump is winning a lot of the bound ground states. And I think, taking an objective look there, only Michigan so far is really the one that's in question. Let's have a look at North Carolina. North Carolina, Trump winning all that, up on all North Carolina. And let's have a look at Georgia. And Georgia at the moment, it's got it's pretty much the same polls. These are older polls, so they're not 8th of August, the 30th of July there. And we can see that in the recent one, the PVP poll had Harris up by 1 point. The previous one, though, which is also around the same time, had Trump up 2 points and so on. So Georgia definitely going to be more competitive. So those are kind of where I think it's landing at this stage. So yeah, maybe Michigan and Georgia, a bit of a toss-up there. Michigan maybe in favor of Harris, Georgia a bit of a toss-up, but all the other states there in favor of Trump at the moment. Arizona, Nevada, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina. So let us know your thoughts on that if you're in America on that sum up. But that's probably a more balanced view of where the election is as opposed to what the mainstream media is doing with that recent Siena poll there, Times one. So that's kind of the play there at the moment. But overall, clearly the last two polls don't show a half been spread. They are the most recent, and they show Trump up 2 to 5 points overall. So that's kind of the play there. That's good news. If we want freedom and we want pumping crypto, a pro-president crypto, that's kind of play. Now, we're going to kind of keep track of that as we lead into the election on the 5th of November. Before we do that, though, let's get into crypto. As you guys know, we want more pumping, all the more pumping mentals we have for crypto, the better. Having a pro-crypto president is fundamental for that. And we know that I covered it the other day, that the head of crypto technology companies and stuff like that went to talk to the Democrats at the White House, with the White House. And, of course, they had a big they were trying to iron out some problems, but they had a big conflict with the Democrats. I tell you, the Democrats are anti-freedom. They don't want freedom. They want an authoritarian state. We are really up against it. We're in the most pivotal time that's going to set us up for this whole century. It is century-making issues going on right now, and it is unbelievable. Right, that's what we're saying. All right, let's see. Let's see what else we got there. Hookie says, "I'm in crypto. Is that sad enough?" What? It's good news. I think watching Wookiee breakdowns would be a sad story, says Hedgehog. We got Crypto Fury. Hey, Crypto. Hope you're doing well. Hello. Hope you're enjoying your weekend as well. All right, let's move on here. So we've got the pullback, lazy Sunday, and typically down day on crypto. Not always, but often. And here we are down 58,943. So just below 59,000, but probably more importantly, we're below 60K, and we're down 3.84% at the moment. Now, crypto dominance has absolutely smashed back to the upside. Look at that, 55%. So a real bounce back there in the crypto dominance on Bitcoin. We've got Ethereum at the moment is down 2.42% at $2,562. BNB down 3.8% or 4% here at $505. Solana, which had been making a really good turn, is down 7.64% at $143. What else is looking pretty interesting? Yeah, that's pretty much everything's down, pretty much, isn't it? Let me just refresh this. I've lost control over the website somehow. Solana, yeah, down 7.6%. Yeah, XRP down 5.5%. Obviously, XRP having that beautiful news about the SEC and having a very small penalty, got 96% reduced on the penalty, and so that was good news for XRP. Could get the headwind out of the way. ADA is down 4.8% as well. What else is interesting? Matic is down 5% at 40 cents. Let's see here. That's pretty much it. Those are some of the highlights there. Should we give an honorable mention to Litecoin? Probably not, but that's down 2.4%. There we go. I did it anyway. All right, so there we go. That is the general crypto market. Let's have a look at let's look at Bitcoin as we speak. So Bitcoin's dropped. That 60K really crucial. The 200-day moving average is at $59,447. So just below 60,000. But being over 60 was really important. Being over the 200-day was really important. We have closed below the 200 moving average, and we're currently at 58,775. So fingers crossed we can get some nice uptrend this week. That's what we want to see. Like I say, the futures are not really giving us any indicator on the stock market. Next week's going to hold, but as we move forward later today, maybe they may show one direction or the other. They're pretty flat when I looked at it just before the live stream. The positive news, besides that, we've got interest rate pivots on 18th September. That's going to probably be very bullish, at least for the crypto market. Not so sure for the stock market, though. Typically, after interest rate pivots, when we finally have that pivot, remember the federal funds rate is at 5.5% at the moment. We're hoping to get a 50 basis points, so half a percentage point, and that would take us down from 5.5 down to 5%. That would be pretty good. We know that there's a lot of struggling going on. There's a lot of questions over banks. There's a lot of questions over household repayments. I think we're seeing quite a few people not paying bills is starting to happen. So really starting to get that more hard landing type of economy. So we want to avoid that if we can, because that can lead to, maybe 1929 type of depression. I mean, God forbid that. Imagine the fascists that are taking power now having an event like that. Man, oh man, they would use that to the greatest fulfillment. We got the 5th of November is the US election. That could be bullish if we get Trump in as a pro-crypto, pro-freedom president. And then, of course, we got the 7th of November, another chance for maybe 25 to 50 basis points. So we could have 1 percentage point by the time we get to November. And interest rates taking them down from 5.5% to 4.5%. That would be super bullish for crypto, right? So that's the big macro markets. Now, obviously, the caveats are world peace, because we have all the access of... I don't know. We used to be back in the war, back in the last century. The axis of evil, as it were, was pretty obvious compared to the West, which was a bastion of freedom. It's getting harder to see that this time. 100 years later, or whatever, 80 years later, it's harder to see who are the good guys. Obviously, we're still relatively the good guys, but man, we got some bad people trying to take over the West and destroy the West. All the good things, the greatest society of all time, is being destroyed by people that are just going to be transitory in power anyway. But man, there's some crazy times out there, and people need to stand up, and they have been. I think we have seen a certain amount of that, but we need a lot more of that shift of people, particularly in the center, to vote for the right side of history here. So anyway, those are the bullish things there going on at the moment. Fingers crossed we don't have that. Fingers crossed we don't have a stock market, major correction, all that sort of stuff that is coming up. But other than that, things are looking bullish at the time being. So excluding those gray swan events, we are looking very bullish for the end of the year for crypto. That leads us into, of course, the meme coin season. So we've seen, obviously, with Bitcoin being down, we've seen a little bit of retrace. So Dog Go to the Moon, the one that we're picking for the big rally, this bull market, is down almost 10% at the moment, sitting at 4.87. Actually, let me refresh this just to make sure it's updated. Okay, 4.9 sats, down 7.5%, so it's improved a little bit since we started the live stream. Market cap 289 million, so we're picking that for the win for the top meme coin, expecting some big extra returns on that once it rallies. And I'm still looking at Bitcoin heading to 100K at the end of this year. As we've got Tom Lee, the guy who was right about the S&P 500 last year, also bullish about that. And I think that's pretty exciting. And maybe 150K at the top of the bull market possible in the second and third quarter next year, something like that. It's kind of my guess. That's kind of where we're heading. Ryzik at the moment is sitting at the 4.9 sats, up 4%. So we are seeing some green candles despite Bitcoin being down. Bank of Nakamoto up almost 5%. Pups World down 4% here. And what else? There a few, number 8, 9, and 10 all green, including Wolf Pup, Low Bit Wolf Pup up 7% at 1.5 sats. So lots of upside for these. These are on the Runes protocol. Now, what are we going to say about this? Yeah, first time meme season on Bitcoin, going to be bullish. I'm excited. Here we are on Magic Eden, number 1 DEX. We are waiting for more tier 1 exchanges to list dog. That's what we're looking forward to, and the community keeps pushing for that. So let's see how we go there. All right, looking at the broader market with meme coins. Actually, we're going to go to Ethereum first. We'll talk about that before we get to meme coins. We've got Ethereum at the moment. Look at this. We've got a death cross here. Unfortunately, over the ETH chart. We don't have it on Bitcoin yet, but we have it on here on Ethereum. And we've got the 50-day EMA at $3,076. The 200-day EMA is at $3,079. So this is pretty pivotal. Let's see what this looks like. Hopefully, even if we get a death cross, hopefully it's going to be short, right? Short-lived. And the fact that Bitcoin's holding up may mean that Ethereum can hold up here. And even if this is crossing now negative into a death cross, we could end up being very short and maybe we're bouncing out of that by the time we get through into the second half of September. So that's kind of the hope there. At the moment, we've got $3,079 for 200 moving average. That's that blue line. And here we are on the daily. We've got the current price at 2,525 on Ethereum. Now, we have been getting good money coming through the Ethereum ETFs. So this could all pick up, and this could all be a bit of a ruse. That's kind of where we are there. Now, we had big support here at $2,200, as you guys remember. This is back here. Now, this is when, Richard Hart's got the Magic Carpet Ride money, that 170,000 ETH sitting in ETH, right? He paid something like $3,700, $3,800 for it. So he faced a bit of flack from that. But at the moment, this is back here when we were back at 2,200. We were pretty bullish about that, and especially when we were down here at 19. You remember we were back down here in July 23? We're sitting around this $1,900 mark. Well, we were wondering, why doesn't Richard put the Magic Carpet Ride money, the DAI that we had into Ethereum back here, but didn't? It was kind of weird. But hey, look, he's the one making the calls there. And then we've got, or whoever's running the Magic Carpet Ride, whoever that was, question mark. So we got stuck at this $2,200 mark, if you remember. And then we had the big hyper rally, right? We had the big hyper rally, got all the way up to $4,089. And we've been zigzagging here at the moment, but finally capitulated. We managed to bounce at $2,124, which was kind of the bottom of this resistance here, support line. Sorry, I should say. And now we're back up here at 2,500. So even though we're kind of looking a little bit weak, we've got death cross and all that. It could be short-lived, like I say, into August, September, and then we get our October rally, right? That's kind of where I'm feeling about that and the interest rates now. I've got the interest rate date here on the wrong side. I think it's supposed to be the 18th here. So that is kind of where we are expecting that to happen. So there we are. I think it's kind of a bit of a ruse at this stage for that. But we knew we were going to have volatility in August, September. That's my position I've been holding for some time. Now that's going to lead us into the meme coins. So meme coins at the moment, let's go by market cap. We've got Dogecoin. This is multi-chain, right? So 4.6 billion at the moment. It's down 1.5% for the last 7 days. That's a good sign in my view. That's a good sign. So that's not too bad. Down 5% today as well. So that's what's taken us down. Otherwise, it would be green if it wasn't for today, lazy Sunday. So that's actually pretty good. It's down dramatically from when we started tracking this, right? It was up at 24 billion. So it's almost down $10 billion since then. And here we are at SHIB at the moment. Down is actually up 1.5%, up down 5% today. So everything's down today pretty much. Let's look at the ones that are actually green still. So what Dog with Hat is up 14%, almost 15% on the last week. Brett on Base Chain is up 8.6% for the week, but down 8% today. So you got that volatility with it. You get the leverage, but man, do you get the volatility. Popcat is up 17.5% on Solana, even though it's down 3.6% today. So still doing very well over the last week. And of course, our favorite here, Dog Go to the Moon on the Runes protocol, is up 16.6% for the week. So still doing pretty well, even though it's down 10.5% today, because obviously Bitcoin is down a couple of percentage points and below 60K. But still picking dogs for the win there. So that's the overall meme coin. We've got market cap is at 2.06 trillion, so we're still over the 2 trillion mark. Hey, that's cheap, man. It's such a small market in the world. We've got so much upside, and you know the crypto market can turn very, very fast. So we're up 3.29%, and we're waiting for that big bull rally at the moment. Just jumping quickly to the AI coins, having a look at that list, because we like to look at that every so often. We got the Near token there, down 6% for the week. But look at this, Bit and Saw, which we looked the other day, is up 33% for the week. So that's the big winner amongst the AI coins today, and it's over $2 billion now, so not too bad there as well. Another big mover on the AI coins is a cash, AKT symbol, here up 21% for the week, but down 8% today. So you can see there's a little bit of movement going on with the AI coins. Obviously, that really matches and relates to the stock market. We were seeing a lot of the chip makers do very, very well, like NVIDIA, and of course, go up and away. I still think it's a little early. You're getting these super powerful chips that are dedicated to AI, but you also need to match those with the applications, like robotics and things like that. It's happening for sure, but it's still sort of those early phases, early genesis of that synthesis or combination. And so I still think the market's front running a lot of that a bit too quick. But hey, look, I reckon by 2030, there's no reason, especially once they get over, once they get the power packs problem solved. I think they're looking at lithium, cobalt, and other sort of advantages there with ultimate recharging and energy storage. Once you get that compact energy, man, the applications are going to be ballistic in society. And I certainly think by 2030, we're going to be having some fairly decently advanced humanoids and things like that walking around society. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be mind blowing. And of course, they kind of mimic human behavior. Some of them. It's going to be crazy to see that, right? So remember, they're still computers. They're still computers, and computing takes time. Some people are going to be fooled, but not us, right? All right, so we got Crypto Class in the house. Hey, morning all. Good to see another Pulsechain influence in the house. They're doing a great job as always. Crypto Class, big shout out. Give her a shout out in the chat there, folks, as well. Nice one. All right, so that's kind of the cool stuff. We're going to get into Pulsechain now. 27 minutes on the hour. Man, we're having a lot of fun today. Even though the markets are down, we can have fun, and that's the key. So we've got day 458. Is that right? Day 458, maybe 457. Can't even remember now. What was the day the other day? 456. Anyway, we got 458. Let's check it out. We've got Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0343, down 4.73%, 34% of the mean sacrifice price at the moment. And of course, we've got Pulsex is at quadruple 0188. That is down 5.97% at the moment. And of course, the buy and burn is sitting at 948.8 billion. Pulsex has been bought up and burned. And let's not forget that that's really part of the magic secret sauce that Richard Hart and his developers have set up for Pulsechain and Pulsex. And it is ticking away. It doesn't care too much about what's going on in the market. Obviously, the more volume, the better that burns through. But man, that is definitely doing well. 4.69% of all public supply is now gone forever, just slowly ticking away there. Now, incentive token is sitting at $1.75, down 7.25%. Now, we know that 4.73% is the pulse price. The rest of it is the ratio to pulse, and that pulse is really down 51,000, but still well above the minimum range that it's been trading in. So 51,000 there. The total amount of supply, 38.85 million incentive tokens have been produced from the Pulsex V1 farms. Ticking away there, and many people that have been on those farms have been enjoying very, very good passive income from those farms on Pulsex V1. They have been performing like a boss, especially compared to other ones that you can remember, like Pancake Swap. They have been performing extremely well. Hex there at the moment is down 5.43% at just under 4400th of a penny. EHEX at the moment, 1100th of a penny, pretty much the same as the last couple of days. And the combined price, EHEX and PX at the moment, just below 5500th of a penny. But it's still over half a penny combined. But that is such a bargain right now. So there we go, folks. That is the result for Pulsechain. Let's have a quick look at the charts. Before we do, though, let's see if there's any more comments in there. We've got Marco Marcello in the house there. I think it's a good time to buy PX. I do agree with you there, Marco. And that chart is definitely looking good. Good entry for people. We've got Brennan in the house there, our TA guru. Hey, Brennan, hope you're doing well. G'day, young fella. Hey, Brennan, you are a young fella yourself. Young fella yourself. All right, I don't know. All right, so there we go. We go into Pulse here. We got the charts here. Let's have a look. We've got specific news to Pulsechain, right? So we've talked about all the crypto news, the macro news. We've covered the elections and all the craziness that's going on in the world. But here we are with the SEC versus Richard Hart, right? That's coming up. And that's coming up on the 22nd of August. We've got Richard Hart's response to the SEC regarding their motion to dismiss, right? So we're going to try to get the SEC dismissed. I personally, having read it, I think that it's quite a very weak case. But once again, it's got to go through the courts and through all the arguments there. And we know that Richard's got the dream team lawyers, including one of Elon Musk's lawyers, working on that. Really is a dream team. We've got they've also got a lot of ex-SEC people working there in that lawyer team, right? Now, we're on the 8th of July, we had the SEC response to the motion to dismiss. They put their case. We never saw that, of course. That was delivered to Richard Hart's lawyers. But then we've got coming up is the 22nd of August is his response. And we're probably unlikely to see that, is my guess. But we shall see. That's 10 days away. And also Richard Hart put out to the community, get out your amicus briefs. So if you're a lawyer, if you're a team, a project team, and you've got good arguments to help defend for this, help support this motion to dismiss in the case, then you should file an amicus brief, right? That was kind of the call that Richard did. I think that was a pretty good call at the time. So hopefully we get some of those. What else are we going to say about this? Yeah, it's ticking away. We're only, how many days? We're 8 days away from that, folks, the 22nd, or 9 days away. We're on the 22nd of August. That is expected to be submitted, right? So kind of cool. So that is the play. And then, of course, we've got after that, we've got the oral arguments on October 22nd. And this overhangs probably overhang on the market. And hence the market is down where we are on Pulsechain, right? We got that Pulsechain price down all the way down there at 3,400 there at the moment. So we're right at the bottom. We were back here in August, September. Obviously, we're back here when the SEC originally put out their case here on the 31st of July. And, we got all the way down. We get down to 4,200 here. So, yeah, really down at the moment on some of those. So we're right back down where we started. We broke our big, nice angular support, and here we are at the moment. We even broke this resistance, which was bullish. We got sent all the way back down again. The RSI is definitely oversold on the daily and on the weekly. Let's have a quick look on the weekly on Pulsechain. On the Pulsechain, we're down really low, 32.7. So is this the opportunity of a lifetime? That's a question you got to ask yourself. Obviously, we're still not out of the woods with the SEC, still coming up to October for that. Now, that being said, let's say we win. Obviously, if we win, then we know money's going to come over the bridge. The price of the Pulsechain is going to pump. Let's say that we may possibly have a rally into that. That's going to be interesting to see if we get a rally into that. It's definitely plausible, although we're in a very volatile times. So maybe that rally would be late October. We shall see. Or maybe the market will just stay pretty neutral and maybe drift down even a bit further, and that you might be able to pick up huge volumes. The other side, of course, is that we still have the insurance policy, right? So on the 5th of November, if Trump wins the election, we know that he's going to remove the Gary Gensler from the SEC, and he's going to change the regime, probably drop a lot of the court cases, is my guess, as the new person will do. Say, we're not into lawfare. We think a lot of these cases are weak, so maybe Richard Hart and the SEC won the SEC against Pulsechain, Pulsex, and Hex is dropped. So that's the insurance policy at the moment. So that's kind of the next play. Obviously, we want to win the oral case on the 22nd of October. And I think that I personally feel like he's got a good chance of doing that, especially with the Dream Team lawyers. We shall see, though. And it's that's the 22nd. So we've got those two events, one, and then the election kind of being the insurance policy. And then that would take effect maybe in January, February, right? The president takes office in January. And then February, maybe we get cabinet in, and that gets dropped by maybe February, something like that. That's definitely the insurance policy play. If, of course, we lose the arguments and Trump doesn't win the election, then we lose that insurance option. We know that the Harris and Democrats are against crypto. And, of course, then you lose that. And then you're basically in information discovery. And that means that the case drags out all the way to next year, to March to June. That's when the information discovery has been agreed upon. And so the case just drags on. That sort of overhang hangs over Pulse. Now, that doesn't mean that the magic heart ride's not in play, right? Because we know that the 170,000 ETH is sitting out there, and maybe the ETH price recovers. Maybe it goes well above the purchase price of 3,700 thereabouts. and off we go, right? And then some of that money can be dragged into Pulsechain, could pump a Pulsechain for infinity, for example. And many of you have seen that Richard Hart video where he talks about the strategy many year or two, was it 2 years ago, something like that, maybe a bit longer. So that is kind of the play there, and off we go. That's kind of the scheme at the moment. But at the moment, of course, you can pick up tons of Pulse, and that's just the way it goes. Opportunity to buy galore. Now, PulseX has been performing very well compared to Pulse, and here we are with the chart here, so we're going to talk about that. The RSI on the daily at the moment is down at 37. Obviously, we've got a pullback here at the moment, 6.6% for the 24 hours. But let's go into full screen here. We can see clearly that PulseX has been the better performer. We still hold this angular supply support. We lost this on Pulsechain, remember? We lost this on Pulsechain, but on PulseX, we've been going up and up, and we're still holding it just at the moment. We're just above it, as you guys can see. So we can see that we're just above that support line. That support line is somewhere around 1800, right? Which also happens to be our horizontal support, 1800. So that's a pretty crucial, a very fundamental line to hold for us on PulseX. If not, I think we're going down to 13 to 1400, right? So that's the play there if we break that. So we've managed to hold it very, very well. We're still holding this angular support and the horizontal support. And of course, that 1700 is going to be very crucial. We're currently just under 1900 at the moment. So teasing us. We do have a negative bearish cross here on the short-term rolling averages as well. So that pink line there, you can see, I don't know if you can see that. That pink line here is the 13-day EMA, and the purple line there is the 34-day. So we're still holding on for that at the moment. So yeah, we want to get a bit of a U-turn back on this angular support. That's a hyper bullish for the chart. So fingers crossed, we hold the angular support and the horizontal support. We're entering a very crucial zone, and this could be quite short-lived, right? We could have short-lived. We saw a short-lived one here, right? We saw that was short-lived, so hopefully we'll have this short-lived too as well. That is the play at the moment. All right, let's go for the weekly. Have a look at PulseX on the weekly there. We're currently sitting at 38.39, so that's even better than Pulse, as you can see on the weekly. Let's go to the daily one more time. I wanted to flick the from the USD and flip over to Pulsechain just to show you how PulseX is outperforming Pulse. And that's been a good play for you if you are in the Richard Hart ecosystem, because that is the chart there. So you can see PulseX has been going up against Pulse. So it's now sitting at 54.77, did get to 0.6. So PulseX is doing very well from that point of view. The value of PulseX2 compared to Pulse. So yeah, you can get 0.6 pulse per one PulseX, whereas now it's only 55, right? 0.55, so just over half. And we breached that as well at half, 2-for-1 ratio, and that's kind of where we are at the moment. Now, the other way you can do that, of course, is you can go and invert the chart. So should we do that? Let's do that. I think let's go up here. We're going to invert the chart, bam, and show you pulse to PulseX, right? And then we'll full screen for that. So pulse to PulseX, you can see that pulse now is getting less. So let's go right back up here. We're going to go into September last year. One pulse would have got you 4 PulseX. Now one pulse will get you 1.82 PulseX. How about that? And it was as low as 1.67, just to show you the inverted play there, pulse to PulseX, just switching it around basically. That is that. So interesting stuff. So PulseX being the winner there for those that had moved their capital into that versus Pulse. And if you were after more Pulse for a potential rebound, maybe after October, if we win the case, that would have been a pretty good play, although I suspect that PulseX is going to really rally as well. And we know that buy and burn is heading towards 5%. That kind of helps in the longer game. All right, so that is that. Let's have a look at the pulse ratio. This has obviously come back today, and this has been a bit of the darling of the Pulsechain ecosystem. And you can see it's still in this nice range. And this is a fantastic range for passive income for those who are in the farms. It's basically moved back to the middle at 50,900 here. And the bottom of that range is sitting at 44,500. So kind of cool. Top of the range, 60,600, and not bad there at all. So we're just ticking around it. We had a nice little high level, but didn't break out from there. 51,000 approximately at the moment. So that is doing pretty well. Hex at the moment has been kind of the bargain, right? Pick up Hex down 6% today, and the RSI down at 36. We have the price at 43 of a penny. What a steal right now for Hex. I mean, it really is crazy steal. Let's go full screen, and let's go to the weekly chart on Hex on Pulsechain, or PHEX, as a lot of people like to call it. That is the chart there at the moment. Look at that. Woo! hot dog, fantastic buying opportunity, obviously, and that's doing pretty well. And the RSI is sitting at 37, so fingers crossed. But we do have that volatility ahead of us, August, September, and we also have obviously the SEC case into October. So let's see how we get on with those key drivers. All right, that is EHEX. EHEX at the moment just under 11/10 of a penny. Obviously a big buying opportunity here as well. DCA for the win, of course, because maybe the price goes lower with this volatility and with the SEC. We shall see. Or maybe it's the perfect time to pick it up. So you need to decide. Certainly the RSI has been a good indicator and it is pretty on the weaker side. So not a bad entry point for there with the RSI indicator as well. All right, so that is kind of it on that. Let's go to the rest of the charts. On the Hex derivatives, the only one up at the moment is Hedron on Ethereum. That's up 14%. So nice little pump there. Not sure what's driving that, but that is up 18%. Let's jump over to the stable coins. Everything is pretty much stable there, is it? PDI at the moment is down at 1600th of a penny, down 10%. And LUSD, the other speculative one there, down 11.5%. Followed with USD Tether, USDC. These are the speculative stable coins. They're not pegged to $1, but one day people hope they will be. And we've definitely been watching those. Everything else is pretty pegged. USDL is pegged pretty much just below peg. HexDC just below peg. Coast is looking better at 97 cents. Hopefully this will drift towards peg soon. They're having good news out, of course, around their new banking alliance. So that's kind of cool. And banking services are back up there to directly on ramp from onto Pulsechain, right? You can use Coast services. Brian's links in the video description. He may even post it in the chat there. So definitely check that out. PXDC just below peg as well. So stablecoins operating fairly well. But of course we want PUSD Algo. So Jacob, if you're out there, let's bring on PUSD Algo. Let's get it on. Kind of cool. Maybe hopefully in a couple of months. Let's see. I don't know. Hopefully by the end of the year for sure. You don't want to miss the bull market. Some people have this view of launching PUSD stable in the bear market. No, you don't want to do that. you want to launch in the bull market. Yeah, I realize that typically people in the bear market, they'll switch their profits from bull markets into stable coins and invest those. But really, you want to get all the people around while the bull market's on. A lot of people disappear right in the bear market. So you want to get all those users, capture those users, get them entertained. So PUSD Algo is going to solve the stablecoin trilemma, right? So that key part that these liquidity forks and USD backed stablecoins like Coast don't solve is the trilemma where you've got the scalability that as that key part of that trilemma. And PUSD Algo is the perfect vehicle. And of course, this would be huge for Pulsechain to launch, right? So its scalability, it can just scale. And we're looking for Algo PUSD to do that. And of course, you guys know a big sacrifice has been held. We've talked about that for months and made a key contributor towards that sacrifice level here on this channel. But of course, that has not yet met the sacrifice requirements because 4 or 5 different liquidity pools have to be set up, right? So it's of significant amounts, probably maybe $200,000 each, somewhere in that ballpark. So yeah, it's still ongoing. Now that sacrifice is still open at the moment. So you can still use the link in the video description, get yourself a nice big fat bonus. So you can consider using that link in the video description. I've got videos on the channel, of course, for PUSD Algo. Check that out as well. We do know that Jacob's last comment about that was going to be about going beast mode with that, but we have not seen and we don't exactly know what that means at the stage. Obviously, he's focused pretty full on with the Mafia game at the moment. And obviously, he's got PulsePot and BNB Bot and Pulse Predict out there as well. So he's a very, very busy lad. He's got a couple of different development teams. So fingers crossed we get that. I think that they've got good chances of getting that over the table, but I do hope they launch during the bull market and preferably by Q4 this year would be very desirable in my view. And of course, that scalability could be pretty epic. Now, obviously, you got to get the marketing matched with that too so that people actually know about it. But really, that's going to be awesome. Now, it's pretty much going to be like Terra Luna done right? Terra Luna done right. So you're not going to have human intervention like Terra Luna. You're not going to have poor mechanisms for swapping and like Terra Luna and all those sort of things. Buying Bitcoin to try and shore up the collateral, all that sort of stuff, and then get yourself set up for by big market manipulators, right? So you're going to have all that sort of stuff, and you're going to have true DeFi. Like Jacob always does, you're going to have, limit orders in there doing it auto-botted and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be pretty fantastic and lots of different earning options on PUSD Algo. So I'm pretty excited about it. and look forward to hopefully Jacob picking that up during the bull market. Got to do the bull market. You can't do the bear market. It's got to be the play. All right, so that's kind of where we're at the moment on stable coins. Let's jump over to influencers. Influencer coins. The only thing up at the moment is Trayvon, a more token up 1.74%. But I want to make a mention here to Note Token with Randy Olasky. He's been launching a number of tokens with partnerships, doing some really nice stuff there. Now we've got Corey Costa out there as an ambassador for Randy Olasky and his Note tokens. How come in? Has he got 9 tokens or something like that issued, or maybe more, maybe 12? I can't remember. They've been issued within their community on the No Permissions, which is his community investment group, and doing pretty good. Now they're sitting at the moment, that's down 7%, but they've launched some good tokens recently, so yeah, we'll probably get into that stage. The other one I want to mention is Maddie Allen. So Maddie Allen actually rocketed the last couple of days, right? Look at that, 2 days in a row. It was sitting down at $1.63, and then boom, went all the way up to $5.91. Wow, what the hell happened there? This is the second time that we've seen this play out. So there's drama's going on there. Look at this chart. So we've already seen this, right? So we had the launch, and then the price got sold off. What we see with many projects, Maddie got a lot of flack for that at the time, but of course the chart just moved sideways, and then it got pumped again on the 17th of July, all the way up from $1.53 all the way up to $7.90. Then it came back down again as people took profits and the market took its toll. And then it was at $1.65, and then boom, it just got pushed all the way to $5.80. And then it got sold off. Look, it wicked all the way down based on this chart down to 33.4 cents. So somebody was out there being pretty crazy. And then it bounced all the way back, and now it's sitting at $2.52. So what a ride. Welcome to crypto, folks. Welcome to crypto. That's some crazy stuff. But let's have a look at that pump that was on there. That was a 250% pump, so 3.5x inside like 24, 48 hours. That's pretty insane. But of course, if you've been holding on and you saw the price go down to 34 cents, you would have had a heart attack. And then, of course, it's back up here to $2.50. So there we go. Now, liquidity at the moment looks like it's been pretty much rugged out. It's got $604 in there. I have no idea what the drama is happening around this. But, man, that has been some crazy chart right there. It's only got $604 of liquidity at the moment. Apparently, the market's still holding up $933. Now, we don't really talk about drama too much on this channel. But you can let us know, maybe in Discord or something like that, what some of the drama is about that. But that's pretty crazy. That is insane stuff happening right there on that chart. I don't know. Crypto's tough. Now, obviously, we're pretty much Richard Hart token maxis. And even though we talk about a lot of these charts here, we're kind of reviewing it where Pulsechain's going every day. We're sharing the journey on this channel with everybody. The other thing is that Richard Hart tokens are the number one thing from our view in the long play. Obviously, it's taken longer than everybody expected. The magic carpet ride is still sitting out there in the ether, as Arnold Schwarzenegger would say, for the pump. And of course, we've continued to monitor that. Now, until obviously we get back over the $3,700, we're not expecting really a lot of magic carpet ride stuff from that particular allocation of funds. Now, there may obviously be other funds are out there we know of different sources. So the magic carpet ride is never over there. But that's kind of where we are at the moment. And so, we're looking for that big bull market. That's when we will probably see the magic carpet ride play out in its full sense, its fullest sense of the term. So that's kind of the play. Right, so let's go over to Pulsechain overall. Man, so much drama on this Pulsechain stuff, and yet we're a no drama channel, so we have to be careful what we say. We got, what else there? We got the markets at the moment, 7.8 million. Remember, this is weekend volume, so 7.8 million, pretty low. And we got 159,000 transactions here on the 24-hour. We know that last week during the week we were having over 200,000 transactions, and we were getting something around $15 million on some of the weekdays. We really need to get back over 25 million, but we need green candles, we need momentum, we need that pivot and sentiment to turn around to get that. And at the moment, while we've still got a lot of the CCC stuff with obviously Richard Hart's reply, and then the October oral arguments, we've still got that sitting over us, and of course the US election coming up after that. So there we go. At the moment, the only green ones on the trending list, I've got the set on trending, is Launchpad. So good to see utilities in play. But like I say, I don't think we've seen any launches yet from this team. And then we've got PGIF out there doing pretty well with Giffordware and Pepe there up at 2.5%. So that's kind of the leaders there on trending at the moment. Let's quickly look at the Launchpad, and we're going to go to the website. That's their chart at the moment. So it's not looking particularly hot, 1.7 cents. Let's go to the website and see what's going on there. So let us know if you have been following these guys. We've got to launch the DApp here. We're expecting, these guys have got big influences in it. We're expecting some pretty big launches. And so, yeah, I haven't seen any yet that I know of. Let us know. They do have staking in place. They've got the bridge, and you can buy a launch token. But it's this launchpad. What different projects are they launch on Pulsechain? Now, obviously, typically Pulsechain has based around Richard Hart's way of no expectations and sacrifices, and so that's been the way that Pulsechain has been funded. On some other chains out there, you got people doing VC capital and things like that, doing your classic token raises and all that sort of stuff. And of course, there's lots of rugs with a lot of those, and we've seen a lot of rugs with sacrifice projects as well. But this is supposed to be launching a different projects. Haven't seen any yet, but they do have an apply for launchpad there. So let us know whether they've got any updates on X around that. If you've seen that, I might do a little cursory for that as well. Now, I have no problem with the teams, raising capital to get their projects up, and obviously the market has to decide whether it's a good project or not. That's why we pretty much back on this. We back Jacobs. Obviously, he's the number one GameFi DeFi dev. There are lots of great devs on Pulsechain. You're thinking of Alex McFerder, thinking of Dipcatcher, and people like that. There's lots of great teams, Liquid Lions, Power City, and all those sort of things. So we have a lot of we got over 220 plus projects on Pulsechain. So there are a lot of good devs out there. Obviously, Jacob is the number one on DeFi tech. And of course, we back that big time, right? Back that big time for the win. And I cannot wait for PUSD ALGO. I really think that's going to be superstar. We know that Mafia is already breaking all the boundaries, over 5 billion Pulse. We talked about that yesterday. And that's the number one GameFi on Pulsechain. It's going to be really fun to see that play out. All right, so that's kind of where we are at the moment on that. Let's go to the rest of Pulsechain and have a look at the gas prices. 274,000 beats. So actually, that's on the higher side than what we've seen recently, but still pretty cheap. 0.3 of a penny for Pulsex swap, 200 of a penny for Pulsecoin transfer, and 600 of a penny for a PRC20 transfer. Ethereum at the moment, super low gwei, 1 gwei on Ethereum. And yesterday it was at 0.8, and I'm probably below 1 at the moment. So that's some crazy stuff. Like if you were out there minting Zen, for example, man, that'd be about $45 to mint 128 wallets. So there we go. That's pretty good, cheap value. And of course, if you're any Hex stakes right now on Ethereum, man, that's a godsend, right? Getting less than 1 gwei. That is awesome, right, on the old Ethereum. But we know that it's not going to stay around like that forever. We did see when the price markets got smashed the other day, we saw the gwei go up over 600. So it can still do those big spiky prices. But at the moment, 1 gwei. And of course, they have had their own proto-dank shardings definitely played in the game. And of course, all the second layers have been flourishing, right? Taking some volume from there too. We've got 272 times cheaper than Ethereum at the moment. Not too bad, not too shabby. Doing a swap on Uniswap at the moment, pretty cheap, 70, 90 cents, something like that, isn't it? So it's not too bad as well for the time being. We've got 48,357 active voters on Pulsechain, 1.55 trillion of pulses off the market. And like I say, with this pullback at the moment, with Pulse at the moment, you can pick up so much Pulse and become a validator yourself. It is such a good opportunity. When the market's down like this is the best opportunity to pick up these volumes. And at the moment, validators still there sitting at the dominant 71% of validators on Pulsechain. Remember, Pulsechain's real main narrative is a DeFi chain. So the more projects that we have leading the way on DeFi, the better. And of course, Jacob is, kind of the best example of that in my view. We've had some good developers though, like I say, Alex McFerder, Dipcatcher, and others, Liquid Lions, and all the rest of them do some cool stuff. Our most recent project we launched was that cool giveaway one. I just forgot the name of it right now, but we'll come back to it in a minute. Validator.com, check that out. It's got preloaded equipment and stuff like that. And David Feder is running that, well-respected community member. All right, let's go to the bridge at the moment. So bridge, not too bad actually today. 90.5 million. I was expecting that to be lower than that, but that's not too bad. 90.5 million. We're still sitting at 27,376,000 DAI. Obviously, Ethereum's down a bit there, and Bitcoin's down a bit there with the pullback. Coast is actually doing better, right? So that's slightly up on the Coast. And what else we got going there? EHEX, they're sitting pretty stable at 11 tenths of a penny. And USDC, USD Tether, I'm not sure what the reference point is. I keep forgetting to commit to memory, but that's kind of where that is at the moment. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a snapshot of this today, just so I can talk about it tomorrow and see what the movements are there. Let me just take a snapshot of that to do that. All right, bam. I have to remember that. All right, so kind of cool. Let me put that over here on my memory storage. All right, so that's kind of it. Now, I do want to look at the stablecoins a bit more since I've been talking about them a little bit today. USDC sitting, pretty cool. Well, how much USDC we got? Well, that's the amount. Let me jump down to the stable coins though. The native stable coins on Pulsechain. We have 4 of them at the moment. I'm hoping PUSD Algo becomes number 5. And we've got USDL sitting at 9.2 million. We've got PXD sitting at 1.56 million. HexDC is below a million at the moment, so it's backed by Hex, right? That is 811,000. Those are the 3 liquidity forks, right? Or liquidity forks. And of course, they're all collateral based. And then we've got Coast, which is, got the stable coin base back there by, US dollars and things. That is sitting at 4.5 million at the moment. So not too bad. So what we had that 10 million, 10 million, 11 million, 14, it's 11, 14. So $16 million in stable coins at the moment, native stable coins. That's $16 million. So it's not nothing. Certainly not the high that we've had from these, particularly USDL and PXDC when they first came out, but still doing pretty well. And a big shout out to the Coast team who have now got their banking system back up, their new financial partner. That's going to be bullish for on-ramping. We should see several more dollars, especially as the bull market ranks up there. And who knows how big that could get. I know that they were targeting $50 million. Obviously, they had to renegotiate proper banking arrangements, but they've done that now, which is pretty cool. Now, I wanted to quickly, let me go to the Coast, and I want to read out some of their comments. I haven't actually got pulled it up, but it's on another screen. But let me have a look here. Yeah, so Coast and has announced their banking relationship with a bank called Old Glory Bank. So classic American name there, Old Glory Bank. And the registration is now live in all 50 states in America, all 50 states. So that's pretty cool. So if you're in the United States, you want on-ramp money directly to Pulsechain, use the Coast. Now, Brian's link, he's a community leader. There's links in the video description if you want to use that. And you get 5,000 weight tokens as a bonus if you're new. So definitely check that out. Now, the Old Glory Pay app that they have for Glory Bank works 24/7. So you can do it 24/7. So no, forget the regular banking hours. So if you want to onboard apparently currency during the weekend, you can do it now with the Old Glory Bank. Depositing the Coast is now as easy as a Venmo transaction. So that's brilliant news for everybody, folks. Brilliant news. So definitely check out Coast. It is a way of directly on-ramp to Pulsechain, the only way that we have, really. We got lots of secondary ways, but that is the primary way. Never miss the dip again, on-ramp to Pulsechain on the weekend in go time any you like. So pretty cool. And they have the oldglorybank.com, IS and stuff like that. So I'm going to post the link to this post if you want to check it out with more details. But that is a Coast there at the moment. Pretty exciting. Let me go back here. Now, you said I was talking about the latest project that launched. It was Win-Win. That's what I was trying to remember. So thanks, regular crypto investor, for that. I did go over it the other day. Maybe I'll focus on that again coming up. We did go over that the other day though. Coast is that's the link there to the latest. Pretty cool. Do I actually have? Can I actually share that screen? Let me have a look here. Let me stop sharing that screen. See if I can share this screen as well. Yeah, that's the screen I'm sharing. So that's what I'm looking at there right now. This is from Coast, the Old Glory Bank app, and 24/7. So fantastic stuff. You can on-ramp to Pulsechain that way. So it's got iOS, Android, and it's got a tutorial there. So pretty awesome stuff there. I actually didn't see that, so I'm going to repost that as well here over on Superman Crypto. So this is good news for Pulsechain. So Pulsechain never sleeps. So big shout out to Coast. This is huge to actually get a direct on-ramp to Pulsechain is fantastic work, and the Coast team have never given up. Based out of Australia too, funnily enough, but really cool. Dozens of Pulsechain users have been testing the deposit feature this weekend. Current time to clear deposit is 11 minutes. 11 minutes, can you believe it? That is fantastic. That is how quickly you can get money onto Pulsechain now. That is crazy. So let us know your experience. Brian's link to Coast is in the bottom there if you want to sign up today. He's, I think he's still holding on to number 2 spot behind a big crypto coffee. So not too bad there. You see even Corey Costas, saying this is huge. So kind of cool. Really massive there. Coast announces bank relationship with Old Glory Bank. Pretty cool. Account registration is live in all 50 states. So absolutely huge, folks. Definitely get in behind that direct on-ramp to Pulsechain. Kind of cool. Kind of cool indeed. All right. Let's see there. Yeah, there's Brian's link there. Thanks, Brian. Posting that. Coast on-ramp. So join up using Brian's link. I think he's sitting number 2 behind Crypto Coffee, which is not too. That's not hard. What's that? Not easy to do, I should say. That's some crazy stuff there. Brennan says 24-hour will be weekly close. Need a pump in ETH to avoid death cross and BTC to stay above 52. There we go. That's from Brennan, our TA guru. Thanks for that, about that death cross on the ETH chart. That's pretty much it on that. Let's jump back, and I'm going to stop screening that screen and share back the main screen and get into that. So those are some of the highlights there for Pulsechain. Let's go back to Gold Pulse. Yeah, so that was the results I just gave you with day 457. We're now just started day 458. How about that? That is the numbers there. All right, so Hex on Pulsechain. Let's have a look there. Have we got the latest results? I think we have. Yeah, we have. We've got 3 days of results because I never read them out. So 3 days ago, so that would have been day, 450, we're on 458 now. So this is day 457, 456, and 455. So those are the last 3 days. And we've had 7.171 Hex and 7.137 Hex. And from the looks of it, 7.147 Hex. I don't know where we've got a duplicate there. We seem to be getting duplicates here. Probably not maintained as well as it should at the moment. T-shares at the moment have been all down all those days. A couple thousand T-shares sitting at 9,181,000 T-shares on the old Pulsechain for Hex. What else we got there? Penalties, pretty good penalties, 848,000, sitting at 865.8 million, and we've had modest penalties the last couple of days. Liquid holders up, been positive, and miners are up positive too, sitting at 123,200 miners there on the old Pulsechain. So that's it, ticking away. Day 715 on Ethereum, and day 58 on Pulsechain there for Hex. Hex.com, check it out. Start mining Hex today on Pulsechain and Ethereum. Kind of cool. Super cheap value to get in at the moment. All right, that is pretty much it. Let us go. 1 hour. How did I get to 1 hour? It's going to do like 40 minutes. What the fudge? This is just crazy. Pulsechain's got so much stuff happening. But those highlights at the moment. Coast is really cool. Win-Win obviously launched. Yeah, maybe we might bring up Win-Win. Have we got time for that? I don't know. Let's see if I got time. Let's see if I've got time to cover Win-Win quickly. The prize pool. Let me have a look here. Yeah, it doesn't show what I thought it would show on the Win-Win. Who was it? A regular crypto investor said, "Can you go over Win-Win?" Yeah, it just got. You can see the rewards at the moment. The recent prize has been like $10 and $36. This is not what I expect to see for Win-Win. I expected to see some pretty big prizes, at least at the minimum in thousands, but potentially tens of thousands. But of course, the time they launched was quite late. But the project seems to be ticking away there. And maybe I'll have a quick look on their Twitter, and maybe we'll cover this in more fulsome coming in next week. How about that? Not bad. Wiki says, join Strategy Club today with Wiki's amazing link. Yeah. Hey, look, we've been covering multi-chain strategies and been doing very well with our calls. So if you want to get into multi-chain projects, definitely get into the Strategy Club. $35 a month, but great value. It's a little bit similar, like a more simplified version of Randy Olasky's No Permissions investor group, but you can get in there multi-chain, and we're looking at really good, high probability, high return projects on multi-chain. So Ethereum, X1, whatever it's going, Pulsechain, whatever it's going to be, we're looking at all those different options there. So definitely check that out, and you can use Wiki's link to join. $35 a month. See you there. Private club within the Discord, and of course you also get everything included in the Discord as well, which is $5 a month of value. So not bad. All right, let's go back to it. How we're doing here. So that's that, everybody. Now, if you haven't checked out the video we did yesterday, we covered Mafia with the Syndicate. We had Dog Capone, Archie in house. That was a very popular video, so check that out. That is out there. If you want to join Mafia, you can obviously join the Syndicate, the #1 family. Probably the biggest thing about the Syndicate is the most feared family on the old Mafia game. The other thing, of course, is we did a market update yesterday, or not yesterday, but the day before. Sorry, not yesterday. It was 2 days ago. I forgot I was on my day off yesterday. But 2 days ago, we did that video, and also a market update then as well. Not too bad. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about was Richard Hart. Do you want to do that? Should we do that? I wanted to talk about a post from Richard Hart, so let's pull it up. That'll be the last thing I'm going to talk about today. So let me bring that one up. Let me stop screening there, and let me share a screen. And bam, let's go. All right, let's go. Should we go up there? Yeah, that's probably kind of cool. All right, so Richard Hart posted this interesting post. You tell me what you think of this post. But Richard posted this. When did he post it? Let me see if I can go back out of here. He posted this on the 10th of August. So what are we on now? 12th. So this is about a day or so ago. And it was a pretty interesting post, I thought. Richard said, price isn't the best indicator of a coin's quality. If it were, then Bitcoin and Ethereum dropping 9%, 95% occasionally wouldn't have meant they sucked. In fact, they were amazing and two of the best performing assets of all time. And of course, we know crypto generally best performing markets by a long shot, especially if you've been, in stocks before. Unfortunately, quite many coins do actually suck, and occasionally the price down action matches their intrinsic suctitude, as he calls it, which I thought was quite funny. Germany dumped billions. We saw that with getting rid of all their coins. Gox released billions, numerous bankruptcies, ate hundreds of millions in legal fees, and dispersed billions. Hey, look, some of these lawyers have made tons from crypto, haven't they, with all these cases? And that likely also caused a lot of taxable events that wouldn't otherwise have happened. A rare bunch of liquidity events in short succession doesn't speak to the quality and function of real crypto. You see a lot of people quite upset, including me. Now, that's what I thought was pretty interesting. You see a lot of people quite upset, including me, that prices aren't giving the constant dopamine of all-time highs. Now, obviously, Ethereum never reached its all-time high of 4,900. It got to 4,100 in the last rally that we had. And, of course, Magic Outright bought at about $3,700, that 107,000 each. So it's down quite a bit now. Now we're down, at 2,500, 2,600. As is so often the 4-year cycle case, maybe those times, now this is pretty much, maybe those times are just around the corner. Are they just around the corner? What's he saying here? Obviously, are they just around the corner? Maybe those times are just around the corner. Is it going to be October? Is it going to be this month? Is it going to be September? What's he alluding to here? Is it Magic Outright? You guys decide. Volatility is the price you pay for the world's best performing asset. Well, we definitely know that, right? We definitely know that, not just in crypto, but on Pulsechain. TLDR, price up. People think anything is good. Price down, people think anything is bad. In reality, price discovery is a messy process, and things real value is hard to ascertain. And of course, then at the bottom, he's got here, Bitcoin, not financial advice. How about that? 66,600 views on that one. 666. Hey, that's scary stuff. All right, so that's pretty much it on that. And I think that's a good place to finish, right? But is there a little bit of secret sauce in some of those that comments there? You decide. But yeah, it is just around the corner, we should say. But certainly, we do have a bit of challenges in August, September, potentially in October. Although for the general crypto market, I am really picking October onwards to be that big rally, beginning of that big rally that we're expecting. Maybe 100K by Christmas, and maybe 150 by perhaps March, June next year, somewhere in there, depending if everything lines up really well. Obviously, a Trump victory would be awesome. If we don't get a Trump victory, I am worried about the stock market. I'm worried about the stock market for the interest rates. For a Harris victory, those are definitely negatives, and I'm worried for the world if Harris wins. Right, I'm worried for the world if Harris wins. That's going to be carnage. All right, but on a positive note, crypto is here, and never fear. And we got opportunities galore in crypto, so make the most of it. This bull market is in play. Now, you only have one job to do. Do you know what your job is? You got to sell the top. Don't ride down the other side. Remember that. Greed gets in the ways, and that's why people don't sell the top. So remember that if once you make some decent money, you may want to think about taking profits. I know Randy Alasky is big into that too. So that's your one thing you need to do during this bull market is try and sell the top, take those profits. If you get some life-changing wealth, then make smart calls, and don't fall for the tribe there. But we've still got a while to go yet, so still game on. I hope you enjoyed that today. I'm going to be in Discord today as well, so I'll see you there. Take care, everybody. Let's play out a bit of the Magic Outright video on the way out there. And let's see where we are here. Where's the Magic Outright video? Peace out, everybody. Take care. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Big shout out to all the 10,500 subscribers. Really do appreciate your support on Hex Token channel, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain X. And I will catch you again tomorrow for the beginning of the week. We'll have the stock market results for Monday in the US. So that's going to be something we'll add into the mix. And good times ahead, I'm sure, once we get through this volatility stage in August, September. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.
In theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, What weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just hilarious to me.